Hi there, who have we got with us today? Couple of people? Okay, so last time I left off, I was just about to cut out the wedge area and the bed area on the plate. If we take a look here at what I've got left, this sandwich, take away one side, and you can see we've got the bed area here. We've got the piece of waste I took out, which will be a pattern for our wedge. And we've got the top of the plane and the other side. So they're all ready to glue up. I think I've said before I'm going to be aligning them with dowels through these holes, which, all being well, those holes will get cut away during the shaping of the plane. I'm going to be using ordinary white PVA glue for this. So let's have a bit of a go. I think I'll just put the glue on to the middle section, trying to avoid getting too much squeeze out into the areas that we might have to clean up later. Now this is a thin or slightly thinned PVA, just to make it a little bit easier. I forgot to get myself a little card to scrape it with. Spread my glue with an old debit card. Now ideally I wouldn't get it into the dowel holes because that means I won't be able to pull the dowels out and they'll be wasted, but I've already got some down a couple of the holes. Do post a question in the chat if you've got any questions. I shall look from time to time whilst I'm doing this. If I see anything I'll answer it. Otherwise I shall check once I've got this clamped up. The only thing more boring than watching me spreading glue is probably watching it dry. So I won't do a live stream of the glue drying. You'll just have to imagine that for yourselves. Okay, so I'm happy with that. If you don't know a quick way of getting rid of PVA, put it on your hands, rub it quickly, it'll start to dry it and then it'll just rub off. Okay, so let's put the bed on. I know it lines up with the bottom of the side, and I can put a dowel through that, and that one, and those two should lock it in place. And then with the top part, again that should line up with the top of the blank. And then we need some glue again on here. This is slightly more awkward. I'll work round the dowels. In fact, it would have been worthwhile if I'd marked out the shaping of the plane on these, and I could have avoided having to glue those areas completely. But we live and learn. This is the first plane that I've actually done with this method, so I'm certainly learning something. Probably I could put this together, clamp it, and the glue would spread out all right, but I'm not taking any chances. I'll spread it so it covers everything, and I'm only gluing the one surface as well, so it's worth making sure the glue gets well spread. At the same time, you don't want to put too much glue on because it's going to get squeezed out. On the outside it's not a problem, but if it gets squeezed out in this area where the iron goes and the wedge goes, then you've got a bit of a clean-up job. Okay, I think that's it. I can't believe nobody's got any questions. Is anyone even going to say hello? Don't worry, I won't be offended. Okay, so putting the other side on. That's all looking good. Let's get a few clamps on. I'm just pulling it up, I'm not going too tight. Oh, hello, some people are saying something. I may have to go through later. Hi Robert. Hi Shrenick. Yep, I can see that. I'm doing this on my phone and it disappears after a few seconds, which is a bit of a pain. Messages pop up when you post them, and then if I haven't spotted them, they disappear after a few seconds. I think next time maybe I can set up my laptop by the side of the phone and I'll better see a constant stream. So just enough pressure so the glue starts to squeeze out. I think that should be enough. See, it's so not tight that the clamp will move as I put some weight on it. I struggle to find some small enough clamps for this. It's not something that I have an awful lot of. So let's use some of these big boys. Thanks, Rennick. I completely missed that question. It's even scrolled off the screen. I'll come back in a minute and go through the whole thing if I can find it. I've got to a point now where I can watch the screen virtually the whole time. So if you've got any questions, if you want to start putting them on now, if you've already done one, if you want to repeat it, it'll make sure I do see it. guessing you are making this for the doing of it rather than needing a Yes, I am. I do have a few shoulder planes and a rebate planes, so no, I don't need it. But I don't have a wooden one. So hey, there we go. I should invest in Axminster heavy duty parallel clamps. They're much better and easier to use. Yes, possibly. I've got some lovely parallel action ones from Jorgensen. And I've got a long, actually I've got some Axminster ones. I might show you those in a second. But whether I could actually get them or get one right across this with the dowels in place, I think I might struggle. On a bigger plane, a glue up like this, you could use alignment pins that were shorter than the thickness of the material, and you could put a clamp right the way across. Yeah, when I initially thought about how to clamp it, I forgot about the dowel pins, and I pulled out some F clamps. I thought that'll be fine, good reach, good coverage of the whole surface. And then it dawned on me, yes, I'm going to have dowels in the way. Okay, well I think if I can get one more clamp in the middle, I'm not sure it's an area that's important, but just in case. That's it. There we go. Okay, now you can see what I've done. I'll grab the phone and see if I can find any of the old questions. I don't know whether I can scroll up in the comments. I'm not even sure how I can get to the comments. Oh, there's a chat. Okay, I found it. Good. Can I scroll? Right, I'll go back to the beginning. So, did I miss anyone? Nope. Hi Jesus, how are you? Hi Emma, you got a question there. Am I making the iron or do I have one already? For this plane, I've got one. Got a lovely iron from Clifton, but it may be worthwhile me looking at making a second one for this, if that's something that would interest you. Robert, I guess you know by now, it's a shoulder plane, also known as a rebate plane, which I didn't know until the other night when I was watching a talk on planes and found out that the common name for shoulder planes and rebate planes is just rebate planes. So yeah, making for the doing of it. That's right, Robert. Just experience. I haven't made wooden planes other than a prototype many years ago. I've restored quite a few, which is fun in itself. But no, I haven't made any from start to finish. The parallel duty clamps. Yeah, I like those. Let's go and have a look, see if I can find them. If I can flip the camera around, that would be handy, wouldn't it? Rather than me looking at my finger scrolling through the chats. Yeah, I've got these long ones from, I think they are the Axminster, aren't they? Parallel jaw clamps. They're the 3 foot ones, and I've got these shorter ones from Jorgensen, which are, well, I've been reviewing them, testing them out, and they're very good as well. But G-clamps, I tend to have the larger sizes, because I always think if you've got a large one, you can clamp something small anyway with a G-clamp. And F clamps as well. So that's about the size of that. Any other questions, comments, critiques, suggestions for future live casts? I always forget where the camera is on this, and I keep putting my hand in front of it. Okay, I found some chats coming up again. I missed the question. I went back to that one, didn't I? A few vintage rebate planes, Robert. Yes, my old wooden rebate plane is my favourite one, actually. I do think they work extremely well. The bed angle on here, interesting. It's going to be a bevel up, and I've done a bed angle of 10 degrees, and that's purely from a design point of view for the aesthetics. I want to hide the end of the iron and the wedge under the handle, so it may not work very well at all. We'll have to wait and see. The wood is it's beech, which is commonly used in wooden planes, and for the wedge I'm going to be using, I'm pretty certain actually I've got some Purple Heart to use for that, which should please somebody. Yeah, it is a very low angle, and the iron as supplied is 25 degree or 24 or 25 degree bevel, so that makes it 35, but I can always change the angle, put a micro bevel on there to bring it up to 40, 45 degrees. Do you not like Padauk or Wenge? I like Padauk actually. Wenge I've never used. Broke one of my lights the other day, so I'm down to one lamp in this light. I think I need to get some LEDs. Yes, it does, unless you put some sealer on it, shred it. Some UV filtered, or some, should I say, a finish with UV filters in it, and you'll be fine. Wenge does splinter very easily, I've heard. And yes, I think it is toxic or an irritant of some sort, as are many of the tropical hardwoods. I've not had to go to hospital for anything yet, but I've had ghastly sore throats, and I've had a few splinters that have been really rather painful. Well, this has been fun. If there's no other questions, I'll probably draw this to a close now. This should be glued up in about 3 hours. I could take the clamps off, I think, on this. So I did water down the glue a bit just to extend its time. So I'll give it about 3 hours, take that apart, clean up the blank, and then probably tomorrow I might drill through the throat and start some of the shaping. Okay folks, thanks very much for joining me. See you again soon. Cheerio.